Today, for the very first time, I am checking out Olivia Rodrigo's debut album from a few years ago. This is Sour. Hello everybody and welcome back to another album review / reaction here on my channel. This is the first time someone has come to me and said, hey, you should listen to this album, without me saying, hey, bring me an album to listen to. So we have a fun time going on here. So as you can see, I'm here with my buddy, Present Chris. And for those of you watching this video, if you're new to my channel, which might be because we are going to be listening to some pop music today, something very different. This whole year we've been going back through and listening to Metallica's discography because I have not heard any of their albums, and we're almost done. We just have Death Magnetic and Hardwired to Self-Destruct to listen to. So here on my channel we have all sorts of awesome Metallica videos, hours and hours and hours, a plethora of Metallica content, you could say.
You could.
So check out any of that if you're interested in metal music, if you're interested in Metallica. Highly recommend it. A lot of people seem to like those videos. If you're here because of Olivia Rodrigo, I think this is going to be really fun because I don't know anything about her at all. I think I checked on Spotify. Her #1 song is called Driver's License. Yeah. And it has like some obscene amount of...
That's insane.
Like of plays. And I did not realize that she was like the level... she's like Britney Spears level.
She's a huge pop star.
Yeah, and I had no clue. So that tells you,
and kind of like Britney Spears because she's a Disney kid.
Right. I did see that. I read a bit of her Wikipedia page. The only thing I really saw that was of noteworthy was, that she was a Disney person and that she was in High School the Musical. Yeah. So
was that a TV show? I don't know. I know nothing about that show. I know nothing about Olivia Rodrigo really, except for this album.
No, it's High School Musical, the musical. It's a movie that they made about High School Musical on the Disney Channel.
But wasn't High School Musical a TV show?
Yes, like
and she wasn't
15
in that?
years before. Because High School Musical was Zac Efron and Selena Gomez and that stuff. That's a whole generation before Olivia Rodrigo. So there was High School Musical, High School Musical 2, then there's High School Musical, the musical, and now there's High School Musical, the play, which is, I believe, some sort of like a live play. It sounds stupid, but then I think about it, I'm like, it's kind of cool, actually, like that they're so ridiculous with it. Like, I'm okay with it. For the record, I've never seen a single High School Musical thing.
Me neither.
And I'm not just saying that. Okay, so Olivia Rodrigo, because I'm on my dumb phone, it doesn't say her, like, most played songs or anything.
Oh, I'll tell you. Well,
yeah, you might have it on yours.
I have Tidal. Oh, does it even say on here? Boy, I don't know that it does.
The only number I can tell you is that she has 55.6 million monthly listeners, which the last thing I reacted to was with Chris Parker on my channel. The video I think just came out a couple days ago, a band called Lies that has less than 5,000 listens per month on Spotify.
54.5 million, is that what you just said?
55.6.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So I can't wait anymore, so we're going to open our beverages now. I have a blue shirt, so it's a blue drink. I'm thirsty and I want to take a drink, so here we go. Normally I make this kind of a bit on my channel, so don't at me if I don't do the bits. That good old Gatorade flavor. So that's really all I know about this. I will say that I'm really... For those of you watching who don't know, Chris and I have been friends for many years now, and we talk about music a lot, but it's not very often that we talk about pop music or electronic music. Maybe every now and then a little bit, but for the most part, we stick to metal or just like projects we work on, things like that. And I would definitely say, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I listen to a lot more pop music than you do. I think you're in situations, like you're in places where you're forced to listen to pop music, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas it's my choice to own and listen to any pop music that I hear. You know, I don't ever listen to the radio in my vehicle. I always listen to whatever CDs I'm playing. So like if I'm hearing pop music, I searched it out and found it. You know what I mean? Whereas you do things with sound and everything where you're like in a space where people are just like together, and so you listen to music or whatever's on the radio, or you're at an event where they're playing pop music or something over the radio, or just like over the speakers to like for like background music or something, I think.
Yeah.
Right. And so like you hear things, you're probably exposed to maybe a lot more things than I am. But I would say for like pleasure listening, I probably listen to more pop music than you do in general, I would say. And the thing that I'm scared is going to happen with this is that you're going to be like, this is like, because you've mentioned her to me like so many times.
I love this album so much.
Yes. And I want to ask why before we listen to it. But the one thing that I've been thinking about that I'm kind of scared of is that I'm going to listen to this and find it like wholly unremarkable and just be like, oh my, this is like the most bland pop music of all time because of all the other stuff that I listen to and already love. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And like, I don't know that.
And that's kind of an unfair thing to think. You know, I'm hoping this album blows me away.
It won't.
Well, but I don't know. You never know. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
And so why do you like this album so much? And how did you find out about it?
I don't know. And we have talked about on the channel before. Like I like things for whatever. I think we're similar in that way that like usually it's not like the lyrics or the vocal performance that probably like
that's true
really brings us to music.
Yeah.
I happen to like both of those things a lot about this.
Okay. So you do like her lyrics?
Yeah, I really do. And I mean, pop stars are supposed to be easy to like. I've always liked pop music.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I had poster Britney Spears hanging over my bed when I was a kid. I really liked that Christina Aguilera record that came out with the one where she had the red underneath her blonde hair.
I still have a No Doubt poster in my room on the back of my
No Doubt's not pop music.
They were when we were in high school.
Oh, that hella good
hey
record.
Hey baby,
That shit
hey.
rips too. I love that. I really.
But that's also hella good, which is like one of the best. Like
Hella
I don't even
Good
need to call that a pop
so
song.
good.
But
Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked
I think that song's
girls
a pop
singing
song.
pop music.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody should. I don't know how I was trying to think about that. I remember a phone conversation with one of my friends who is definitely not a pop music person, and we ended up talking about driver's license. And I can't remember if it was my other friend who you don't think would listen to pop music, Chris, really likes this Olivia Rodrigo, or if I said, have you heard this song? And then he said, yeah, one of my other friends really likes it too.
Okay.
But it was like when driver's license came out, I can't even remember if the whole album was out yet or not.
Because this album we're going to be listening to came out in 2021, I believe.
Was it 2021?
I think so. Yeah. So
we can just look these things.
yeah,
up.
I will say it's interesting because
2021.
this kind of reminds me of something that happened to me a few years ago, where, like I said, I don't generally listen to the radio, so it's very easy for me to like miss out on things that are just like culturally like huge. Sometimes things do make their way to me, like for example that Miley Cyrus song that's been popular this year, that I can whatever for hours.
That song's awesome.
Right, I agree. I think it's really cool. I
It
agree.
got worn out on the stupid TikToks and Instagram because
Right.
it was like the only audio that was available on Instagram for like months.
Yeah,
But after that,
And so I like stuff like that, and I managed to come across it. Whereas I honestly don't know if I've heard a single Miley Cyrus song, for example, from her last like 3 albums.
I don't know that I have.
Like
either.
from Wrecking Ball to this song, I don't think.
Wrecking Ball. That's a Miley Cyrus song.
Right, but that was like 3 albums ago, I think.
See, why don't I like Miley Cyrus more? She seems like right up my alley.
You should. You should.
Well, so let's do some fact checking here, at least according to Wikipedia. Olivia Isabel Rodrigo, who is way too young, is a American singer, songwriter, and actress. She gained recognition in the late 2010s with her lead roles on the Disney television programs Bizarre Vark, which I've never heard of until this very moment.
Don't know what that is.
And High School Musical, the series.
Oh, the series. Okay.
So she was on the TV. So maybe she was on the...
But because the original 2 High School Musicals are just movies. That's maybe what it is. I got it mixed up.
Oh, anyway. When did the... Oh, it doesn't say what date it came out. Anyway, 2021 is when Sour came out. And I freaked out about it. And I've listened to it, like, I was trying to look on my playlist stats to see how many times I've listened to it on Tidal. I don't know how to do that. It's a lot. But I like... whatever. Most of the time, I like music because there's brutal riffs. I went to a show this past week. I went and watched Psychroptic from Tasmania.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and Decrepit Birth were the headliners. That was a technical death metal show.
A lot of crossover between Olivia Rodrigo fans and what is it?
Dude,
what was it? Fetal Decrepitation or whatever?
Oh.
What was the band? Decrepit what?
Decrepit Birth.
Decrepit Birth.
Dude, Psychroptic was cool, though, too.
Yeah, I've heard of them, actually.
We could listen to one of their songs later. Anyway.
So is there something that makes this stand out to you more than just...
No, I just have to latch onto a female pop star.
Because I will definitely say that over the years there have been certain like female pop star like albums that I've heard, and I'm like, this has no right to be this good. Like clearly the people who were in charge of the music of this, which isn't Britney Spears or whoever I'm referencing, those people really cared and wanted to make like a kick-ass album. And some of those, because there have been just certain female pop like albums that I've really fallen in love with over the years. But I started to say this story a second ago. I'll finish it real quick. A few years ago, I was riding in the car and I heard this song that just absolutely blew me away. And it was about, it was this lady singing this song, and she was like, Chandelier, the chandelier, some like crazy like vocal run. And I was like, what is this? And I looked it up, and it was Sia. And I had never heard of Sia before, like one of the biggest pop stars in the world. And I was like, this Chandelier song, it blew my mind how awesome I thought it was. And so I went and looked up her album, and I was clicking through songs, listening to them, and I was like, this is all terrible. None of this sounds interesting to me at all, but that Chandelier song was fantastic. And maybe I need to give that a little bit more of like a chance or whatever sometime. But like, I remember, and also like Rihanna's a good example of this. I think like Umbrella is like one of the greatest pop songs of all time, but I have that album, Umbrella, and then she has like 2 or 3 other singles from that album. Those are great songs. The rest of the album, trash.
Was We Found Love on that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
We Found Love is like one of the songs I used to like check subs with.
Oh, sure.
Like
I could see Rihanna's songs having fat bass.
We Found Love is a beautiful sounding song.
But yeah, so sometimes pop artists I feel like can go that way, like where and that's been true since the dawn of music, where pop artists just focus on like their singles, and then the rest of the album is just sort of throwaway stuff.
Yeah. This
clearly isn't that, because like you just mentioned now, like 2 or 3 metal guys all like this album. You like this album. 55.6 million people at least listen to one of her songs. I don't know if that's just,
But there was a tremendous amount of singles that came off of this.
Yeah.
And then, like, there are definitely, 5, I guess, of the 11 songs. One of them was, I guess they're saying that Traitor was one. That wasn't really a big one, I don't think. Driver's License, Deja Vu, Good For You. Those were the 3 really big ones. And Traitor and Brutal. And Brutal's the opener. Where's the track listing? I like them all. I like some of them a little bit less, but I don't think there's any like super stinkers.
One of the things that I saw was I was looking at her wiki page for this album, and 2 of the songs have credits from other artists because the song was similar enough that they had to give credits. So one of the songs was might have been.
One of them's One Step Forward,
3 Steps Back with
and
Taylor Swift.
Yep, she had to do that, and then also I'm looking at the same page right now, but I knew about this anyway. And then the other one is Good For You, which sounds freaky like a Paramore song. Mm-hmm. And so Hayley Williams is
credited as a writer, which is really interesting.
So. Good for those guys. I mean,
Taylor
they get
Swift,
royalties. Taylor Swift is like, who cares? But
Paramore's pretty huge, so
they're
not as big as Taylor Swift, but I mean they're like one level below, I would say. They just had an album come out last year. They're like, was that earlier this year? Oh my God,
good though.
I didn't care for it as much, but it's more of their like punky stuff. I like their last album that was like 80s and synth inspired.
I don't know anything about Paramore.
After Laughter, that album was called. But anyway, I'm not a huge Hayley Williams or Paramore fan. I do like Taylor Swift though, I will say that. So if there's some like Taylor Swifty sounding stuff on here, that could be really cool. I don't know. We'll see. But also Paramore, that would make me think.
What does Taylor Swift sound like?
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
Because depending on the era of Taylor Swift, you're going to get a different answer.
Reputation's the only one that's even worth talking about.
Oh, see, I think Speak Now is by far her best album. So that makes me wonder, like, if we're going to be getting, like, guitars on this album, if we're going to be getting, like, what it's going to sound like, because I don't really know at all. And if a song is reminiscent of a Paramore song, I would assume the only Paramore song most people know is that Misery Business song, which is the whoa, what if it meant to break? Well, don't anybody want it now? That one. Which I enjoy that song, but whatever. And so, like, is this song going to be like a punky sort of pop punky type thing, or is it just more like the melody of it, like the vocal melody or something? I don't know. But I will also say, like, I'm familiar with more modern stuff like Halsey. I enjoy her first like huge album. I really like that album a lot, and then I didn't follow her after that at all. Lights is my favorite pop star of all time. She has been featured on my channel so many times, and me and Chris Parker love her. She is probably the artist that we both collectively like the most, because we both love Lights, and her albums have consistently been in my top 12 of the albums of the year for the years when she releases her albums. So we'll see. And one of the reasons we're doing this is because Olivia Rodrigo has a brand new album coming out in September. 8th, did we find out the September 8th? And I have not heard any of those songs at all, as far as I know. And so we'll see if this video gets lots of likes. We'll see, what should we say? If this video gets over 1,000 views,
okay.
I mean, you got to base it for my channel.
I think that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah, but non-Metallica videos on my channel get like between 400 and 700 views, I would say.
We're expecting the Livy Army to come out and watch two old guys talk about this record.
That is sad to think about, that we're old guys to the Olivia Rodrigo fans. Oh my gosh.
I love that. Ben, you know what's great about Olivia Rodrigo?
I don't, but tell me.
This is one of the great things about Olivia Rodrigo, is that obviously I did not get to go to Taylor Swift. But Olivia Rodrigo will surely go on tour, and I really do want to see some female pop star that I love. I mean, I don't even really hardly care who it is.
Right, but just from a production standpoint.
Yeah, as I want, like, I mean, you've seen pictures from the Taylor Swift tour. It looks freaking nuts.
Yeah.
And like, I want to go see some. I've never been to one of those before.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely haven't at all either, so that's awesome.
I don't go to many arena shows.
I've never been to an arena show. I've never been to an arena show.
Huh.
So
anyway, I'm super excited.
Let's just go ahead and get into this, and we'll. Oh, one other thing I should say, like Chris mentioned, that we don't necessarily focus on lyrics or anything like that. If something catches my attention, or if you want to point something out, like, oh, I really like the lyrics here, feel free.
So yeah, we didn't really get to that.
Okay.
The reason I think that I got so like the little stories that she's telling, and there's probably like an overarching story. The details probably really aren't important for us on this channel, but like, it's very obvious what the record's about, which I think is kind of nice. And like, the lyrics are clear, and a lot of them are like, it's not like some big grandiose thing. Like, she just tells you what she's talking about. So like, some of the times I like lyrics. Whenever this comes up, I always end up mentioning Atmosphere, that rap group from Minneapolis.
You can.
And Slayer and Rush and stuff like that. Like, when I think of one that I like about lyrics, like I talk about those bands because like I think that they're clever or something. This I don't think is particularly clever. Like there's
that's a hallmark of pop music in general, though, isn't it? Though, to just kind of be more simple.
Sometimes, but like that's not why I like this. I like it because she's like young and in love and mad.
Okay.
And like, they do one of the things I really like, and I know that this is becoming more of a popular thing in pop music now, kind of. I've heard a lot of it in the stuff that I like, because there's a lot of like female rappers that I've been enjoying a lot lately. We could go on a completely different weird rabbit hole about that. The ones that say lots and lots of bad words, talk about bad stuff. Those are the ones I really like a lot.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
I really like it a lot. But
probably not my favorite.
But Olivia Rodrigo kind of does. She doesn't like. I mean, she says some swears, and it brings you out of the. Oh, I'm listening to this sweet 19-year-old girl. And then, she says the F word. But like, also she does stuff where she talks from between, or the production kind of goes away, and then like, it's like almost spoken. And stuff like that to bring like, and again, like the production, like, I mean, of course this sounds good. It's the best production money can buy, but there's like nothing that I'm going to say like, oh, this sound was so good, but also nothing's like that. Nothing's like that anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Everything has like a.
Everything's so good. Like, it's like no. the only remarkable thing is if something's not good.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The things that are way bad, that are worse, stand out now because they're bad, rather than the things that are so good standing out because they're good. Right. I see what you mean.
From a production standpoint, like still sometimes it's notable, like, oh, that snare sounds really good, or I like the way that this was mixed, or like, oh, they, whatever, they did this cool production thing. But it's never going to be like when, synthesizers started to be on records or something. Like, what the hell is that?
Right.
Like we're never going to have that again. So
no. One thing you said there really made me like, oh God, because one of the things that I hate the most in music is when you have some like pop star and that all of a sudden they just throw in a swear word to be like, look, I'm so edgy. Look at how edgy I am.
She does it really good.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's done in, I don't care if she swears at all. And actually, I would prefer it if there was more than just like 1 or 2 songs with it, if she's going to do it at all, to prove to me that it's not just being edgy. So like, but we'll see. We'll have to approach it. Like, there's definitely correct ways to do it. I think it has to have meaning to it rather than just being like, whatever. But we'll get to that when we approach.
Okay.
You won't hear the swears because I'll edit them out. So feel free to bring your 12-year-old, your 8-year-old, your 5-year-old back into the room, and we can all listen to this together as a family.
And then you can listen to the unedited version
if you want to. Sure. So with all that in mind, with all that said, let's just get into this. Okay, so track 1, Brutal. I love that. Oh, let's go. Okay, it's only 2 and 2.
There's no capital letters in any of the song names.
No,
there's numbers in there.
Yeah, I saw on Wikipedia that sour is it says stylized in all capital letters, I think, or something. Oh, should we talk about the album cover?
Oh, the album cover's like.
It
awesome.
Looks pretty cool, honestly. Like I saw this and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen that just like in stores and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like.
She's got like stickers on her face.
Yeah, I think those are stickers.
Little charm things, and it says sour on her tongue.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there's more meaning to like her rings or something. I don't know, but yeah, a good album cover in my opinion.
Yeah. All
right. Track 1, Olivia Rodrigo, Sour from 2021. Track 1, Brutal, in 3, 2, 1. Now, we didn't talk about this. Do you want to stop in between songs?
Yeah, we probably should for a second.
Okay. Whoa. I was going to say, oh, so this is just a little instrumental intro. No. Okay. Widespread vocal drums, like the snare at least.
Oh yeah, it's stereoed like left and right. This is the first time I've listened to this in headphones, I think. And that bass thing, kind of here, but then in the verse, tempo slows down. I didn't realize that it goes out of tune.
Oh, yeah, there's like a curve to it. Isn't this like anti-pop music? Like, is this like...
Disney
I'm a
kid
Disney
in this
girl,
record.
so we're going to make like guitars and real drums and stuff. So like, we're going to... But like, this obviously... I mean, I don't know enough about her. Well, I got to hear the rest of the album. Hold on. Well, let's talk about that later. This is really interesting sounding. Ooh, retardando at the end of the... Dude, that you don't hear in pop music ever. I'm probably going to really like this. I think I might. Just based off of that, we'll see.
Are we going to stop?
Oh, should we?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. All right.
I mean, just briefly.
Yeah, we can.
Another thing that I really like, and maybe this is a production thing, it's also a performance thing. But like, there's a lot of spots on there, like right at the end, like you can really hear her mouth moving. Like it's like kind of like ASMR stuff. If I know what that is, but I don't like watch it. But like, you can hear a lot of that, and I really.
But don't you think that was just? I think that was achieved just because by the effect that they had on her voice there, like kind of was like a little distortion-y type thing in there. It was meant to be like here's her voice like as close as it can get to.
Yeah, that's for sure. But that happens several times. That's another. I guess that is a production thing that's done on here that I'm like, I like.
That's cool.
I really
I like that. I like that song a lot.
I know it's pop music.
Yeah, it wasn't a full song,
and I know it's all fake. That wasn't really a full song.
Yeah, but that can just be like the intro to the album, or whatever,
I guess it kind of
which is cool. Yeah. And like you said, she was telling, like, I totally get what it is. She's basically complaining about being young, which is really funny because...
And there are a couple lyrics in there that are a little cringy, but I like it. Like, I know it's fake, but my brain wants so badly for this to be real. And it, like, makes me... Like, I mean, she at least has songwriting credits on most of the stuff.
Sure.
And so... Like, that's cool, and maybe she is. Maybe she is just this actress that just, like, writes songs when she's on a break.
Yeah.
That's what I want to think, and I can live in a
freaking
fantasy world if I'm listening to pop stars.
And think that they contributed something to it. Right. No, I agree completely. I like that. I thought it was great. I think that clearly the way it sounds was like a statement of, like, this is not Britney Spears. This is not that, like, especially because, like, you wouldn't make drums sound the way they sounded in that song unless you wanted them to specifically sound that way, because they did not sound good, right? They sounded like garagey, and they sounded roomy, and they sounded wide, and the kick wasn't the second loudest thing you're hearing the whole song.
No.
Which, if it was a pop song, the kick would probably be the second loudest thing you're hearing the entire song.
Yeah, we can talk about that word more later.
So like the intent there was to set, I hope, or I think, not having heard the rest of it, to be like, hey, here's this. Now, the next thing could be Britney Spears-ish. And I use Britney Spears as a reference because I love Britney Spears.
How can you not?
And
it's illegal to not like Britney Spears.
And my favorite Britney Spears album by far, by a million miles, is Femme Fatale, which has, if I said, would you hold your body against me? That one. If I said I want your body now, would you hold it against me? Fantastic. But that's her dubstep album. Total 100% four to the floor dance, heavy electronic dubstep music, the entire album. It's phenomenal. This was as far from that as possible while still being a pop song.
Oh yeah, it's still a pop song.
You know what I mean?
And it's still, I mean, like, and like, it doesn't sound good, but it also sounds freaking fantastic.
I mean, that was more rough than you would ever hear even on like a Pink album, right? And to me, Pink is sort of like the poster child for, like, I can be a rocker, I can be a pop princess, right?
I don't like Pink at all.
I understand, that's fine, but like normally Pink uses like crazy drum samples to like make a song sound heavy, but then she does have like guitars, like Avril Lavigne too has. Did
you listen to the new Avril record?
No.
Oh my god!
But Avril Lavigne is like straight up, like Skater Boy is just like a pop punk song, like straight up. This was even like beyond that production wise. Right? Like, this was meant to be like, yo, we're in a garage. We're in a band. We're going to make this gritty, you know? And so we'll see.
You haven't heard the new Avril?
No. Oh. Avril Lavigne was never someone I cared about that much.
You did? Oh, I listened to that album so many times when I was in high school. The new one is great. I listened to it like twice, and it just, like, it touched all the little spots that it was supposed to. It was developed to be nostalgia for someone that did exactly the things that I did, and it absolutely worked. Travis Barker plays drums on it. It's great.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
And
I didn't know that. That's cool.
One of the blank guys, I should know who is who, but I don't, is on there. Anyway.
My favorite Avril Lavigne song is, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend. No way, I think you need a new one. I like that one so much. All right, let's get to track 2, Olivia Rodrigo, though, Traitor. You mentioned this was one of the songs she released as like a single, but maybe not like a big one.
This wasn't the biggest one.
Okay, so coming from what we just heard, I'm curious what we're going to be getting. Oh, I totally, hold on. Oh, well, remind me to... Oh, shoot. I forgot to mention the copyright stuff. Because odds are we're not going to be able to... No one's going to be hearing what we're listening to. And if we don't, if we pause in between songs, I have to count down every song. Because no one will know when to start it. All right. One thing I did read online was that this was supposed to just be an EP because they didn't know if she was going to have like a music career or not because she was an actress.
Oh.
So they made like a couple songs, then Driver's License exploded, and they were like, yeah, we'll make a full album. And so that's pretty cool to know. This is Taylor Swift. That is a Taylor Swift song with different production.
Yeah.
That is Taylor Swift. I like it. I'm not saying I don't. And also, I definitely heard some bad distortion in there on the far sides. But when you low pass stuff like that and you just have this giant, massive buildup of low to mid frequencies, it is so hard to not have bad distortion in there. You know what I mean? To move the sound too much through the limiters to not get like bad distortion. Her voice is reminding me of something so much, and I can't think of who it is. So this is a ballad. Interesting to have the second song on your album be a ballad.
I guess it
That's
is.
pretty crazy. She has that like that millennial thing that like her singing vocal style is very modern.
That distortion. It happened when its song changed. Or went to the next part.
I'm going to think about who her voice reminds me of. Unless I've like heard one of her songs and I didn't know it was her. She can definitely sing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited. Like, you know, some pop singers can't really sing the best. And that's fine. I still love Britney Spears, but that was good. Okay, definitely did not like that song as much as the first one. I'm not a big fan of the, like, let's just low pass everything, washy background ballad style. I'm not a big fan of that. There are lots of bands that do stuff like that, and but it still was good. I mean, you could hear the strummed acoustic guitars from like the second verse on. Mm-hmm. So far, neither song has had like a drum beat that you could really like dance to or anything. You know what I mean? Like the first song was just that sort of like garagey rock drums.
Yep.
And then this song, the drums were just the background plodding, low passed.
What is the name for that?
Mid-range soup is what I call it on my channel. The mid-range soup. Anyone who's familiar with my channel will know what I'm talking about.
That drum thing is like a thing.
Yeah, for sure. That's a very prevalent thing. But like, yeah, I did not care for that song as much, in my opinion. I like the first one.
That one took a little bit longer to grow on me. I think that used to be one
I could
that
see
I would
that.
skip.
I could see that being a song that does grow over time. I love how she sings the song, gets to the part you're supposed to remember, and then everything goes away, and she goes, "But you're still a traitor," right?
Yeah.
That is such a Taylor Swift thing to like write your song and you're happy, and then, but here's the hook, you know, and then everything comes back in. Like that is such a Taylor Swift thing. Not that she's the person that invented that or anything, but I mean, Metallica does that every other line in their songs, you know. Especially on Load and Reload. They love doing that there. Yeah, I don't know. That's okay, so just in case anyone's watching and you're unfamiliar when I say low pass, that means that they've taken the sounds and basically they've EQ'd it, which you might not understand what EQ is, but let's just say that for the sake of the fact you do. They basically take all the high frequencies away and allow all the low frequencies to just continue through so that you can hear just the low frequencies.
It kind of
right?
sounds like this.
Yes, exactly.
It takes all the high frequencies away. It's an underwater sound.
Yes. Yep. And that was done probably, I don't know, there were not very many frequencies in that song other than her voice above what? 600 hertz?
Well, the acoustic guitar and stuff is all high ND too.
That's true. There was acoustic guitar, and there was some like, there were things in there, but for the most part, everything you were hearing was just all the high frequencies were cut out of them, and it was just low frequencies that you were hearing. And so, interesting. That is a shocking song to me to be on at track 2 of the album.
It is, and then
Track 3 is Driver's License.
No. Is it? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which track 3 is always the big song on every album.
It is a lot of times. I noticed that when I was like 10 years old. I'm like, why is track 3 always like the hit? Why is it always the one I know?
Chris Parker and I've talked about that a lot too. It's like, what possible reason could there be for that? Because you think the first track's the intro to get you into it. The second track is the one they want you to pay attention to. And then the third track is the one that the record label wants you to pay attention to.
And then after that, who cares?
And then after that, nobody cares. Except for the last song, which should always be a slow ballad.
Okay.
All right.
Driver's License. This is the big one.
This is the song that will get us copyright taken down.
Oh, yeah.
Let's mention that real quick. So I should have mentioned this before we started this. I have had terrible luck on my channel with things being copywritten, and YouTube just does not like it when you upload a whole album. And I hope the fact that we're stopping between will maybe help, but who knows what the rules are. If I look these up, it might say every one of these songs could be used on your YouTube channel, no problem. And then I put them all in the same video, and for some reason YouTube's like, no. That's exactly what happened with my Taylor Swift reaction. So if you're listening to this and you've gotten to this point and you haven't heard any music, I am so sorry. Just, I don't know what to tell you.
You can listen along. We'll stop between the songs.
We'll stop in between the songs, and you'll be able to tell when I'm starting. And I will count down every song from now on, just to make sure, in case you have to listen to your own version with us, I'll count it down. So that's all we need to say about the copyright. Let's put it out of our minds and do a good reaction here. Driver's License in 3, 2, 1. I want to know if I know this. Because this song is so massive, I have to know this, right? A piano. Is this a ballad too? What? Ooh, I love that. That low frequency thing.
Boom.
Yeah. Florence and the Machine.
Okay.
So run to your mother, run back to your father,
that's who
run for
that
your
song
sisters,
is.
for your sisters. That album all recorded in Florence's album and in her bedroom and her closet. That whole album. Dude, I am shocked that this is a ballad. To have a person's most famous song be a ballad, this is awesome. This is so good. Right, okay. her voice is like, I haven't heard a ton of autotune that much. And like,
although the new autotune is very good.
there's like, right. But I just mean like, I don't care. I don't even care if I hear it, but I'm just pointing out the fact that I don't. Because I'm sure there's some pitch correction stuff on there.
Gotta be.
But like, ooh, the synths, I love it. Oh, this is reminding me so much of something. What is it? I like this, though. I like this a lot.
This is the clean version.
Is it?
Yep.
Some bad distortion in there. But not too bad. Just in the...
On the kicks?
No, it's in the background vocals. It's probably happening when a kick hits, though. I mean, this is kind of like that Ooh, beef.
It's a ballad, and it doesn't end on the root.
Dude, that's a good song. That is a good song. That is a really great song.
It is a great song.
That's crazy. Parts of it reminded me of that Hoosier song or whatever, that Take Me to Church thing, with the sort of like beat and stuff. There's a lot of songs that have been doing that, over the last however many years, but this might have even influenced some of the stuff I'm even thinking of.
Whoever did this, and I want to think that it's a lot
Partly
her. I want to think that it's all her. I know that it's not, but I hope it's a lot her. They're incredibly aware of pop music.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
because like, it's an artist that's doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to fangirl out too bad
Yeah.
about this, because like, there are parts of that song that like, maybe it's the fan, but I get chills. She's a great singer. One of the things that's interesting about this is her voice is not screwed with that much.
Right, which is what I've said, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. But that's like a thing that continues. Like on the parts, like on the bridge of that song, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all weird and stuff. But like a lot of pop records, like that's most of it. And it's doubled.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, during the verses and stuff, there's very little doubling. There's no like, and then like also like, here's a super sparse arrangement and there's nothing to hide behind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved it.
She's a great singer.
I love the her voice is really awesome, and she does have a lot of lyrics. Like there's a lot of, if we had the booklet here, there would be a lot of words for that song.
Yeah.
Whereas most pop songs nowadays, you read the booklet of the thing and it's just like a tiny little line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of a small amount of lyrics. But there were a lot of lyrics there. She was singing a lot, which I really liked. I love the way her vocals sounded, and I started to say that, like, her vocals sound more raw, like that there's the filters and the effects they're doing to her voice emphasize the like imperfections almost more than it's not like they're trying to take away everything and make it sound like a robot. What they're doing is, the way it actually sounds is emphasizing the human qualities to her voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Lorde does that a lot.
And you think that that's like a whole lot more than just like Rick. I mean, there's reverb and delay on her, but like not soaked.
No,
like there's not much.
No,
there's not much.
No,
See, this is what's messed up. We were talking about this on the Saint Anger video that we did.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to it. Patrick will surely give me a timestamp right now. LOL. But where we were talking about how it angers me that people will say that Saint Anger sounds raw.
Oh, right.
Right? In some ways, I mean, not the whole production, because the whole production is like, whatever, costs lots and lots of money. But like her voice sounds to me like about as raw as you would hear on a production of this magnitude.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, whatever, her in her bathroom with an SM58, but
Right.
it's her in a nice studio with a nice microphone, and like, there's not a whole lot else. I mean, I'm sure she sang it a bajillion times, because what they got for a performance on this is, I think, incredible. But, like this, that's, I guess what I'm saying is like, there's no mistakes.
I understand what you're saying. I think when I say something sounds raw, I probably mean something slightly different than what you think of as raw, which is fine. And that's probably a conversation for another time. Let's move on. I think that song was great. I mean, I don't know what else to even say. I'm just shocked we haven't heard a stereotypical song yet, and we're on track 4.
No.
So this is the Taylor Swift song. So far both songs have reminded me of Taylor Swift. Both songs have utilized the let's build it up and then put everything away, and then she says her like vocal hook, and then the song continues. So I like that. I don't have a problem with that. All right, this is 1 step forward, 3 steps back.
You're going to count.
Oh, I was going to say in that last song, I didn't also, hold on.
Count.
I didn't count, correct. I wanted to point out in that last track, you could clearly hear that was a real piano that had been recorded, because you could hear the keys lifting, and you could actually hear the person moving, playing the piano. But you could hear the key, the physical key itself hitting the whatever part of it is, the wood of the piano. Yeah, the hammer hitting the string, yes, but you can hear the key makes a sound. That low frequency, like dud, 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 dud. You could hear that.
Yeah.
And so that's one easy way because they do not put that thud in fake piano patches.
No, and
you know what I mean?
Man, that's why, because like they went through such a lot of effort to like, you'll hear this continue to like make it sound like real,
right?
And it's.
But it's probably just because it is real, though?
It probably is because it is real. And she plays guitar and piano.
Okay.
Like, I haven't watched, like, a lot of her live stuff. But
I would
like,
doubt she played anything on this actual album, but for sure.
I would doubt that, too. But maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You never know.
Maybe she's really that good. But her Tiny Desk concert, which I just rewatched the other day. After I watched the Guar one, I watched the Guar one. The Guar one's pretty good.
Dude, that guy is so funny.
It is
and so natural. They should have their own talk show.
Yeah.
Guar at the talk show, late night talk show, Guar would be hilarious. And the main guy from that band, Oderus Urungus, died. Like, he's not even in the band.
Yeah.
Like, so this is just the leftovers, and they're still amazing.
Oh, they've had a lot of guys.
No, I guess that's true.
And it's like a thing. Like, it's an institution. Like, that makes it a little easier to continue. But, man, that was so cool.
It was awesome. I loved it. Okay, back to Olivia Rodrigo. 1 step forward, 3 steps back in 3, 2, 1. This is so the opposite of what I was expecting, and I love that. Oh, it reminds me of something. So you can hear the person on the piano playing the piano. Like, you can hear the movement of the person.
I didn't know that the birds continued.
Her voice is so de-essed that it's crazy. Her track. That could be a microphone thing, though. Some microphones just...
But there's a ton of S's in it.
There's a ton of S's taken out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is. You can hear the compressor. I've never thought about that on this before, but that's absolutely what that is.
I don't think it sounds bad either. I'm not saying that. It's just definitely a thing. When you're so close to a microphone, though, you have so many more high frequencies that you're getting, and that's what she's doing. So they're de-essing a lot of it. I love the constant birds and stuff in the background. Now, the Taylor Swift song that this was supposed to remind them of was New Year's Day, which I don't think this sounds like New Year's Day at all, but that's fine. There's also some bad distortion here, too. Every now and then on her vocals. I love that, like, almost so quiet you can't even sing the words. Oh my God. We're going to be 5 songs in and we have not heard a standard song yet. This is shocking to me. Okay, so the thing I obviously have to draw a parallel to there is, if one of the songs that I have said from the moment I heard it many years ago till now, that is like one of the greatest things I've ever heard, or albums, would be a Fine Frenzy's album Pines. I think that entire album sounds like the song we just heard. Plus they have like a drum kit and there's more to it, upright bass and stuff. But like the vibe of that with the nature in the background, and then the most like, you can hear the person playing the piano. Like you can hear the movement of the bench, and you can hear them pushing the pedals of the piano. Like that vibe, and then her really close vocals really reminded me of like some of my favorite songs off of that Pines album from A Fine Frenzy. So I had to mention that. But yeah, just a piano and her singing and nature.
Yeah, and
that's all that song was.
And like there was that one little splash of reverb that came at the end, which actually, now hearing it here, was like a little bit ham-fisty. It could have been a little bit smoother. It kind of started in a weird spot and then it ended weird. Yeah. But it's still like right when there's like no production. Yeah. When there's no tricks. And then means like more. All you got to do is like put a little reverb tail on something and it makes it happy.
And it was like really overbearing too, the way, like for sure, like that was an obvious thing.
To make it like, like really, like we're still listening to very ham-fisted here, people.
For sure. That was great though.
But and like nothing over, I don't know, definitely nothing over 1K except the birds in her voice.
Right. Yep.
And there was starting to be a little synth thing.
Maybe kind of a little pad type thing.
And it went really short, and then you thought it was going to get bigger, and then it went away.
Yep.
I love it.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked at this. I just looking at the picture and knowing how huge she is, I expected Shakira and like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, and I'm not getting any of that. This is something completely different. So like, my mind is blown. So
I hope that she does that sometime, though.
Does what?
Like, I don't even know how to describe the 2 songs that I've heard, Vampire and the one was
new ones
called Is It a Bad Idea or something like that. I just listened to it on the way here today, like twice. They're a little bit more upbeat, but I would like to hear the Olivia Rodrigo Reputation
type sounding thing.
Yeah.
I never heard Reputation. I haven't heard that album, so.
Look What You Made Me Do is the only Taylor Swift song you really need to know.
Oh, that's off that album?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that song.
It's awesome.
Okay.
I liked it better when I didn't know that Jack Antonoff was on it. But look, even he can do something great.
I don't know who that is, so.
He's the guy that produced all the last Taylor Swift albums, and he's also the guy that was in Fun. That's why all the, that Fun, that band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the last video I filmed with Chris Parker, he was going to make me listen to Fun's first album. Because of the way it's produced.
Yeah, well, that's him.
Okay.
And like, when the last new Taylor Swift came out.
I'm more familiar with Taylor Swift's early catalog, not
I like
her
that
last stuff.
Slamming Screen Doors and Your Mama Don't Know. That song slaps.
Yeah, those are off my favorite album, Speak Now.
Yeah. Oh, those are really, that's like.
But the Screen Door one is the other one, the Mama one is from her album before that.
Our song is
I think so. Yeah.
That one?
But the screen door one?
But that's this lyric in that song.
Oh, I thought you meant the back porch. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
We're not talking about Taylor Swift. I love that. I love the production there. I love the closeness of her voice, the intimate sounding of everything.
That is the thing. And now that we're listening to it, that would be the thing. Like, I don't know that I cannot think. There's probably many. Like, I love the way that her voice is recorded. I usually don't even care. Like, come on. Human voice, like, it is a tricky thing to do, and it's like the most important thing that anybody would ever record. But usually, like, I mean, it's not hard to do anymore. Get in a quiet space, put a decent microphone up, and let the person do the thing. Maybe switch out the microphones to, like, eliminate some problems. Bloop, bloop. Who cares? But, like, they made some decisions here. Production and audio stuff.
Yeah,
because
like we
the
were saying, the
performance-
de-essing and stuff, like, really obvious when you're listening to it, but I think done correctly.
Right, and like, how many
Done
times
correctly.
have you, like, taken the little clicks and stuff out of somebody's voice? Like,
right.
you know, when she says back, you know that you're gonna
Right.
get the thing at the end, and like,
Yeah.
I've edited those out before. Like,
Sure.
it's not necessary. Get rid of it.
Right.
But then, like, here they probably went and doop doop doop, like
To make it-
automation.
Let's
to make-
emphasize it. Bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I don't know. If this whole album is like this, I don't even know what to think, because I've already will say that is too many in a row.
That is a lot
we
in a
need
row.
we need bangers in between these. I love ballads, I do, but not a whole album of just ballads. So we'll see. This next one is Deja Vu, which I think is her second biggest one, or one of her big ones.
This one and Deja Vu and Good for You, Driver's License, and Deja Vu were the big ones.
Yeah. All right. This is Deja Vu in 3, 2, 1. I mean, I love any sort of bell sound in anything, so. Imogene Heapy, very much, this song. There's like a tone behind her voice, but it's like mono in there with her voice to just make her everything feel thicker right there in the middle. It's like someone made a bet. Like, I bet you can't make a pop album without any drums. And she's like, yeah, I can. It's like that's what happened.
First song on drums.
Yeah, but that doesn't count because those were like...
I thought you would like that drum sound. That's like a Patrick Musilek drum
Yeah,
sound.
because we're getting into trip hop music now. Yeah, I love it. Distorted drums are like my favorite sound in the whole world. I wish I could pinpoint the thing that her voice is reminding me of. It's almost like the sort of like New Yorkie kind of accent she has every now and then. The like attitude she has when she sings. It's like the way she's singing, like the. I can't think of what it is. Oh, that hi-hat. Let's go. This is by far my favorite song on the album. There's something so cool about having like a really good melody that you hear the first time with nothing, and then you add the drums to it, and the melody comes back in, and it just like makes it even more. Oh, I mean, that's what rhythm is with music, but like, there's something about it. Okay, this is like one of those like hip-hop-y moments you're talking about. Dude, this is like such a risk, this whole album so far. Like every song is not what I expect. It's not what you would think a pop song would be. And this is like, there's so much distortion here, and there's just like nothing about this is like stereotypical at all.
No.
But maybe nowadays you can't do anything that would be stereotypical, because the being unique sounding is more important nowadays than being like your sound like all the other songs. You know what I mean? You turn the radio on nowadays and you get such a variety of things when you listen to Top 40.
Yeah, that is,
you know.
Dude, I looked at the Billboard Top 100 today for a thing I'm going to do for school. Like,
Yuck. Was it just 98 rap songs that you'd never heard of before?
No.
No?
The number one was some stupid Morgan Wallen song. And it has been for weeks. It's been on the chart for 28 weeks, which is half a year.
That's the song,
Last Night, I think it was called.
Okay,
and then the second one was a cover of I think a country guy doing that Tracy Chapman. Oh shoot, I don't actually care. I don't know any of this. That Fast Car song.
I don't know.
I've heard it on the radio.
That Jason Aldean song's been huge the last few weeks.
21.
That
Yeah.
Try This in a Small Town or whatever.
It was a 21.
Which I still have not heard that one. I still have not heard that song. Should do a reaction to that song. Well, I would just think that like Billboard Top 100, is that just for the United States though?
Oh God, I don't even.
Because
Luke Combs. Yeah, it is a Tracy Chapman song. Man, I'm good.
Good job. I don't know who Tracy Chapman is, but good job.
You know that song. You'd know it if you heard it.
Probably, but
the original chording was better.
That's usually the case with cover songs.
Yeah.
Well, not the production necessarily, but the overall song usually is better with the original artist. It depends. That's a whole can of worms.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, because I know like Bad Bunny was like the #1 recording artist last year.
I don't think that he even had any in the top 5.
But that's why I'm almost asked if like, is it worldwide? But also he released an album last year, not this year. So like, I could see that.
There was, I was trying to do this thing, but that anyway. I don't ever look at that stuff, and there it is.
Yeah, me either.
And I didn't know any of it except for like hearing 30 seconds of it on the radio occasionally.
That I loved it. Loved the drum beat. Loved the trip hop feel of the like distorted, low passed drums. Love when the drums came in. It kills me that we're like halfway through the album and that's when the first drum beat kicks in. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Her voice is just what it is, and it's pretty much been the same the whole album so far. Rhythmically, she's doing a lot of the same stuff. I feel like it's not too much diverting from song to song. You know, she doesn't have very many like long drawn out phrases at all. Very short staccato singing the entire time. Very fast, filling almost like quarter note singing or 16th note singing the entire time. And I love that. Again, I mentioned it earlier in one of the earlier songs. Like I like it when songs have lots of lyrics to them. You know. But I loved it. The melody during the chorus, I loved it the first time. And then the second time when the drums came in, I was like, oh, that's so good. And then, you know, I love the fact that none of the songs have faded out. You know, everything about this is really good and very surprising to me. All right, Good For You, track 6 in 3, 2, 1. Bass guitar. This is modern pop music. Let's go. Paramore, 100%. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my God, yes. It kills me that people are making songs now inspired by the music that we like grew up with.
Dude, pop punk lived. Like,
and new metal is making a huge comeback too now. Like it's become like the #1 like heavy music genre now is new metal. Oh,
that drum beat is so sick.
Dude, the bass.
Oh yeah.
So simple, but oh. Oh, I love that little laugh there. Oh my gosh. Who does she remind me of? It kills me. But you got it, but I want it now. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I'm fine with it. She's credited, so it's fine. She's making bank off this. I love the background vocals here. Like I like the way the vocals sound. They're that very nice.
I love that little guitar thing. I mean, like, right, it's the part you're supposed to love, but like, she does it with the vocals, and then it does it with the guitar.
It could have been
thing.
a little louder here, though. I feel like it got pushed down a little bit more than it should have been. That's a guitar, not a bass, right?
The low frequency thing?
It was a guitar. Now it's a bass. Acoustic guitar in there, too.
Oh, yeah. To bring you into this part.
We really listen to the strums, like the strummy strums.
There are so many guitars. There are so many guitar sounds in that song.
There were a lot of guitar sounds. It never really went full, we're a rock band, though, which I'm okay with. So, you know, I don't know. I feel like that song was holding back, kind of.
Oh, okay, maybe.
To me, it felt like it was holding back a little bit. You know, if they would have went any further, it would have been like, okay, there's a little too much like Paramore. So maybe that's the reason they were doing what they were doing. But like, yeah, I like that song, but to me, that was not as special as the stuff we've heard before. You know, I'm not going to like rank the songs we've heard so far because, you know, we had 3 ballads in a row, which blew my mind. But like, yeah, that wasn't my favorite song on the album, but I liked it. It was to the point. It was short. It was what it needed to be. It was very different from everything we've heard so far, maybe minus that first track. Yeah. Very reminiscent of Paramore with the way the chords and everything are basically identical. So it sounded like that, at least to me. And I could hear the Paramore melody over the top of it,
yeah,
which is usually the sign of like, okay, this is too similar. Because normally I can't even tell. Like sometimes I'll watch YouTube videos of like songs that ripped other songs off, and I'm like, I can't even tell what you're talking about, you know? Sometimes it's super obvious, and sometimes it's like songs that sampled other songs and things like those. Obviously, are obvious, but yeah,
they were doing that on the radio the other day. They were talking about the Beastie Boys
and the songs they sampled.
Well, because I knew that Rhymin' and Stealin'. Do you know what song that is? Mm-mm. Anyway, there's obvious. I mean, it's very obviously a Black Sabbath guitar riff.
Oh, cool.
But
okay.
I did not know that it was the When the Levee Breaks drums from.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure. Sometimes I'll watch a video like that, and it's like, okay, famous songs that the samples are taken from, like, you know, that Bittersweet Symphony song.
Yeah.
There's a sample that song takes from, and it's basically the entire song. It's like I totally lost respect for the Bittersweet Symphony song.
Did you see the little video with the Gorillaz guy and him
when he pushes that button and it's the whole song? Damon Albarn, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And he just laughing the whole time.
Yeah,
he's like, it's just a preset. He hits the button and it plays the song.
It is. Yes. I had known that's how that song was made, though. But like,
it's so cool.
Yeah, it is awesome. It's stupid. Like one of the most famous songs of all time, and it's just like
the guy that programmed that thing.
Yeah.
Must have just lost his freaking mind.
I thought the same thing when I saw that too. I was like, oh, that poor guy must feel bad. But yeah, I thought the same thing too when I heard that. I was like, oh, that's.
I hope they sent him a check. I hope they figured out who it was and sent him a check.
I don't know, but
not that they'd have to. But.
All right, enough for you. Track 7 in 3, 2, 1. Acoustic guitar.
And a lot of the instruments are recorded pretty dark.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty dark sounding acoustic guitar, and it's to get out of the way of her
the whole
unbelievably
album
high voice.
has been that way.
Yeah. But her voice is super high.
Yeah. It slices through. Honestly, they can cheat how high you think her voice is, though, and high frequency her voice is, by the fact that it's so close sounding and intimate sounding. Like, I'll bet if you saw her vocals isolated and looked at the frequency wave response or whatever, like, you would maybe be surprised.
The notes are high.
Right, but I just meant high frequency.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The notes are high.
I see what you mean, though.
I tried to sing
we were
along.
thinking about two different things, but gotcha. I love it when songs are acoustic guitar, like one recorded twice, one pan left, one pan right, if they're performed well. Ooh, bass.
There's a little synthy thing in the back, too. There's a pad. It's an organ, maybe.
She does that a lot. The, like, at the end of the phrase, just like drop the singing and go into more of a talking thing. Maybe a little bit too much, but Cleet always hated it when people did that. He's like, sing the song.
You hear the compressors wailing down on her on this one.
I actually think her voice sounds more like Hayley Williams in this song than the previous one. She likes the way she's singing. It reminds me of Paramore.
Huh.
Or the vocalist from Paramore. They should have had this song be like track 2 and then or something. Like having Traitor and Driver's License and One Step Forward all in a row was too much. They should have had this song earlier in the album to have the acoustic guitars break up the piano ballads. Some vocal gymnastics there. I definitely think that some of the songs feel like they're kind of like, and we're done. You know, like, which is but I don't think any of the songs have felt like super too much short. You know, and we have had some shorter songs, but like Deja Vu didn't feel that song. That was One Step Forward, Three Steps Back was only 2:43. And I still felt like that felt like a full song. But some of the songs are feeling a little bit like you could have thrown in a bridge, you know.
Yeah,
you could have thrown in a third part. But
also, I mean, I think that kind of plays into the, like, oh, here's a young lady who's singing, who's, like, playing songs that she wrote.
Yeah.
Because, like, it does kind of...
Right.
And like, if you were doing that and then you didn't go through the multi-million-dollar production process, like, that's probably how you'd be like, well, I don't know, it just kind of end this one. And like, I play it and then I just start talking in the bar when I'm done.
It does have, some of it does have a very indie feel to it, which is kind of nice and different because we know how big this album was probably made for. So yeah, I like that one. I like the acoustic guitar ballad. I've always enjoyed that. That's how acoustic guitar should always be played, like that, and never strummed, in my opinion. I like that one. I don't think song wise, I don't think I liked it as either any of the ballads we've heard before.
I thought that she did some cool things in there, like where, oh boy, I should be able to explain this more musically than I'm about to, but like, you think that the part's coming and then it doesn't, and there's a part towards the end where
subverting your expectations,
right? That like, it acts like it's going into the chorus and then it doesn't. And then there was another part where it almost sounded like it was incorrect. Like she was going through this vocal line and then like you think it's going to go someplace else and it doesn't, and it just kind of like, and it takes your brain a minute to like, oh, okay, now we're not doing that. We're doing this other thing. And
That's
I thought
cool.
that was interesting.
That's probably the kind of thing that would take me several listens to notice, you know?
Yeah.
And especially, you know, when we're talking a little bit, but in the songs too, it's hard to pick up on things like that.
We are.
But
also, if you haven't listened to this record on headphones, which I'm sure that this is the first time that I have,
fantastic.
you should.
Right?
It's really, there's more fun stuff on here than
the subtle things. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
like that bass thing on, I think it was on Brutal. Like I'd never noticed that before.
Sure.
And the birds that go all the way through one step forward,
3 steps back.
Yep. Like I knew that it was at the beginning, but I didn't really realize because usually I just listen to it in the car.
Yeah, sure.
Bedroom pop is one of the things that they call some of this. Which
I could see that. Yeah,
I've heard that term before.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
On to Happier, track 8 in 3, 2, 1. Heard some auto-tune there.
A lot more reverb on this than the last song had some big reverb too, but
different sounding piano too, completely than the first couple songs.
Yeah, there's no low frequency.
You know what? Those first several songs were probably the EP. And then since then, it's probably been all the songs they created after that, you know?
I guess I don't know.
This sounds just, I know I've said it so many times and it's probably frustrating, but like this just sounds so much like something else that I've heard and I cannot think of what it is. Her voice. Dan Auerbach stepped into the song for a second.
Or I was going to say Graham Burkham, but
that's too much of an in joke.
But that's cool too about this is like there's these songs it's like, oh, this is a piano ballad, and then there's like this synth stuff in the background. Like it's so cool.
This song in 3/4 time, which gives it that more, you know, not waltzy exactly, but that just very dun 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 classical feel.
It's a waltz.
Kind of.
Waltz to this.
Yeah, I guess. Real bass guitar too, which it would not have to be at all, but it is. Really nice. I think
probably is. It's compressed, oh, holy hell.
It's the way it sounds the way it needs to.
It sounds great.
And they're just hitting the kick with it. Every note. Awesome.
Somebody had a lot of fun turning the knobs on synthesizers on this record.
Yeah. That's what I mean when I was talking earlier. Like, you can tell the people who made the album, like, decided to be all on their A game for this pop album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a few albums I've come across like that. But I think it all stems from, in this case, it would all stem from her. You know? Like, this doesn't feel to me like she just came in and sang and left.
No.
You know what I mean? She probably had way more to do with this. But again, now I'm thinking like you, like I want to think the best of it, you know? She likes that like emphasis on the quiet. Like, let's say the thing, say the singer.
But like, I mean, for a
it's
pop
really
thing,
cool though. It works good. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That song was nice. I like the drum beat in the background with the drum. Every time the bass hit a note, there was the kick drum, which is not an uncommon thing to do. I love the piano. I commented on it. It was a completely different sounding piano than on those first few tracks where we got that really, like, where I mentioned you could hear the person playing the piano. That wasn't present here. This was also low passed, just like everything else has pretty much been on the album. So, yeah.
That bass had all high frequency in it.
The bass did too. Yeah, I was just talking about the piano. But yes,
it was a lot more high endy than the other one.
The bass?
No, the piano. The piano before was like all just mud.
No, that's all this was. Hold on, let's listen to it. Oh, next. Sorry, wrong song. Hold on. Spoiler.
This is more smeary to me.
I see what you mean. Yes. But there's more airiness to this,
Also, the notes are lower.
which is yes.
That's
but
a
I
lot.
see what you mean though. It's just like this is a real piano played softly, and this is a piano patch. A really good piano patch.
Huh. I don't think about pianos that much. You think that's fake?
Yeah, this one.
God, that's cool though, isn't it?
It is really cool. It is really cool. It is really cool. All right, jealousy. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, the bass is still here from the previous song.
It's bass.
Establish it. That's nice. Best song on the album. Dude, I love that. It's weird. It's big. Whatever sound that is. It's a guitar, I think, right? That
Oh yeah. It's a fuzz guitar.
but there's some of it on the left side too. Or yeah, my right side, sorry.
right. It's mostly on the left.
Dude, and the piano, love it. I love low piano playing like this. The rhythmic low piano.
Yeah.
Oh. And she's doing that thing where you just keep going and going and going, and the background vocal is almost more louder than the lead vocal. Dude, and what a piano rhythm, right? Bum bum ba da bum 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 ba dum bum bum. Dude, that's so cool. Simple and just like, oh yeah. Close mic'd drums. Dry. Distortion on the background vocals there. Intentional.
Yeah, same distortion as is on one of the hits.
Yeah. Go back to the chorus one more time, please.
Might be a bass.
That
It's
might be a bass or a low keyboard note with the plug going through an amp. Probably a bass. Is it going to end with her just talking into nothing? Yep. Every song does that. Best song on the album. My favorite song. Maybe not best song.
I guess I'm not.
My favorite
I guess
song.
I'm not surprised.
My favorite song.
production.
I love the way the drums sounded. I love that bass thing. I love the piano, that cool rhythm. Bum bum ba da dum dum da da. Like so simple. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love the bounce to that song, the hip hop feel to it. Her vocal flow was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
That was great. I don't want to say the best song though, because I do feel like some of those other songs were like clearly like there was like let's write a classic song vibe to some of that, whereas this was more like let's just kind of have fun, and I like that a lot. So yeah, I don't know. All right, move on. Track 10, Favorite Crime. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Hey there, Delilah. I mean, there's only so many ways you can play an acoustic guitar. interesting guitar in the middle, mono.
Yeah.
With reverb on it.
Yeah, just like the effects are in stereo.
Yeah. Her background vocals on some of these songs do feel too much. And that might just be a mastering thing.
I like it.
Yeah.
These ones are different, but like the other ones,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
the way they layered her voice, I just
Yeah.
maybe it's too loud,
That,
but
like,
I just
wall
think
of
it's
sound
so
type thing.
ear candy. I can't
Yeah.
not.
It's definitely being done well. That was a good line. I cross my heart as you cross the line. That's a good line. I haven't been picking out too much lyrics, but sometimes. That last song I was thinking of, or maybe Happier. So have you noticed other songs where there's a bad word in it or a swear word that hasn't been in there?
Yeah, all of them.
I haven't noticed a single moment where it sounded edited. Or
No,
anything. Is it just my background stuff?
No, but I mean, they just re-recorded it, and like she just changed the words.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's different. Rather than a clean version, usually they just edit out the bad word, the swear word.
I think. I think that's becoming more popular because, like,
The re-recording.
yeah, because like,
Well, because they don't sell edited versions of things anymore. But for music videos, they might have to do clean versions.
the
of things.
radio, Cardi B gets played on the radio.
And if that can be played on the radio, anything can be played on. Then we'll bring that up in a second. I love that part we just heard there, by the way. Bad distortion happening there a little bit there in her background vocals. No, I think about this sometimes. Like you hear something like Cardi B or whatever, and then I think about the stuff that was on the radio when we were in high school, and I'm like, nothing will ever be like that. You know, there was some horrific stuff on the radio when we were in high school that they just like every other word was like bleeped out. You know what I mean? Just like the things that were popular. And I don't even mean like, yeah, there was like Eminem and stuff and like Nelly and 50 Cent and all that, which is way different than like rap music is nowadays, I think. I don't listen to much modern rap at all. But like, then you think about like Backseat Windows Up, you know, stuff, DMX, things like that, like where it's like, that was like what we played when the basketball team came in to play basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, yes, nowadays we get like WAP and stuff, which is like probably,
But even that Ariana Grande Math song.
I don't know that.
Anyway, I had just left from watching Steel Panther, which I mean,
You saw them live?
Yeah.
Steel Panther? I'll bet that was awesome show.
It was good.
Yeah, okay.
It was good. We could talk about all the.
I'd rather see the darkness if I could choose.
Oh,
but
I would.
sure.
I would choose darkness too,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
weren't playing in Lincoln.
Sure.
But I was driving home from that, and I listened to that, and then there was this other song. It was, I think it was a Sweeties song that was on the radio. You don't know that. Boy, you might melt if you listen to that, Patrick. You might actually.
Or I'd really hate it, though.
Oh, you would hate it. Oh, you would absolutely
sure.
hate
I
it.
see what you mean.
But that Ariana Grande song, I did not know. And I had listened to it, I heard it on the radio, and I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of dirty. Like, you know, haha, a little tongue in cheek. And then I listened to the real, like the album version.
Oh.
And I was like, my jaw was dropped. I'm like, oh, like I didn't, like I knew that that's what she meant, but I didn't know that she just went ahead and said it. And I was like, I mean, I like the bad words.
Yeah.
But what a great thing that like,
They can do that.
me just leaving Steel Panther, which there is absolutely zero subtlety in any of that.
right.
And then like my jaws dropped listening to Ariana Grande on the way
Yeah,
home.
that's true. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing that happened to you.
It is.
The karma.
But it's to go back to say that like I think that that's a thing because some of the now that you mentioned that was terrible. Like hearing
lots of stuff.
maybe the bleeps. I don't know. Maybe in a way it worked because then you're like, oh, I gotta go listen to the album version of this so I can hear the bad words.
Yeah.
But the beeps are stupid.
Well, most of them. Well, first of all, I never heard a song that had beeps in it. They never beep the songs. They just they just edit the words out.
Yeah, or
Like
right,
when the person is mixing, or they reverse it, but it's always just in the vocal track. Like it was something that was consciously done when they were mixing the album.
Yeah.
Okay. Last track. Hope You're Okay. 3.5 minutes. This is like this is like progressive metal length song compared to the rest of the songs on this album. This is the equivalent of their Outlaw Torn or whatever. What's that name of that Metallica song from the new album? That's 11 minutes long. It's the longest song they ever made. It's not an English word. From 72 Seasons. The last track. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's not important enough.
Matter.
It's a joke that nobody probably cares about. Although the only people watching this video are probably the people who are here because they like Olivia Rodrigo and subscribe to my channel because of the Metallica stuff. So any Metallica times we mention Metallica are probably good. Now since we mentioned Metallica, I can put it in the tags of the video. See? Metallica. This is James' daughter singing all of this. You didn't know that. But Facts. This could actually be James' daughter's daughter at this point. Which is sad to think about. Right? If she was 17 when she made this.
Well, I think when she wrote some of the songs, because like I think she's 20 now.
Oh, so that would mean she was
18-ish,
19 when she made this.
That's one of the things that
But they probably spent like a good year working on this. It would be interesting to know which songs were supposed to be on the original EP. I'm just shocked at this album. I know we have one song to go, and we'll talk about the overall thoughts. Okay. All right. Hope You're Okay. You're with the you are.
Avril style.
Yeah. Yep. In 3, 2, 1. Electric guitar, right?
Yeah, with a bunch of weird effects on it. New sound for the last.
Maybe what she reminds me of is a Fine Frenzy. This song's a tiny bit eye-rolly for me. I'm not a very empathetic person. So. Another layer of guitar in there.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. That was cool. Yes. I figured it out. What she reminds me of. That's cool. I like the rhyming scheme there.
Other than the guitar sound, there's like a lot of stuff from the whole rest of the album that's like, oh, here it is all in one song.
Coming back.
Like production stuff, right? Like one of those synth drops and the distorted low pass drums and
it almost sounds like that guitar is like in a different room or through a glass window. You know what I mean?
yeah. But a lot of the stuff has been recorded like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
which is
reverb
really
on it.
nice.
It is. It's a distant mic. It has to be. That's
Yeah.
not sitting in front of an amplifier.
Oh, and then that closed piano comes back from driver's license. And
It is. It is the driver's license piano, isn't it?
What an interesting way to end the album.
Here's my hot take.
Uh-oh. Wonder how long that's been like that.
You think it's been recording?
It's still recording, but my camera came undone.
Look, we move again.
Okay, so just realized that for the last half hour of this video, we have been frozen. I apologize for that. The reason for that is because when we're playing the music, usually I have my Winamp player covering the screen where we don't actually see us moving. So I apologize for that, but yeah, we just had podcast mode on there. So
You probably did some cool faces.
I'm sure we did a lot of really cool faces, and I think that yeah. Oh, you mean do cool faces to put in there?
Oh, like we probably were doing that stuff, so you can just imagine.
Yeah, we were doing a lot. Well, also our big conversation about the band Clutch can be taken out, so it's really only it's really only 25 minutes. Okay, so this album was exactly the opposite of what I thought it was going to be. Totally, like, in every sense. I am shocked. There was only 3 songs that were like regular stereotypical songs, right? That had like drum beats and stuff. Yeah. And now I'm including the first track in that now.
Yeah.
So like every other song this is like a ballad heavy album by a large margin.
It is.
There was probably only less than 15 minutes of drums total on the whole album.
Album's only 34 minutes.
Oh, well then there's probably less than 7 minutes of drums on this whole album.
Probably.
Which is crazy to think about, the fact that it's as big as it was. That gives me faith in people again, right? Like hope that, not everything is so shallow and stupid. Maybe this is still shallow and stupid, but like at least it sounded really cool and different from what I expected it to sound like. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was good. The production, I think across the whole thing was really good. Her voice sounded close and intimate the entire time. It sounded very, very similar in every song.
That is the whole thing.
Yeah, it's the same the whole time, basically.
And like when there are a couple spots where they do like the more stereotypical double tracking stuff, but for the most part, like when you're listening to her sing lead vocals,
her lead vocals, yes,
like you're hearing the lead vocals, and then like, oh, then here's all this stereo, like let's turn 30 tracks of her voice into an organ for a while,
right, yeah, like, for sure. But there were even some songs that didn't have that at all. Yeah. So I really liked the way the vocals were handled. I loved the intimateness, the intimate sounding, like they approached the recording from an intimate perspective. Like we want the piano to be we want to record everything in a quiet room and then just like let the silence be part of, like the quietness be part of the track. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
I was just having about how time works. I just had a revolution.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share?
I was trying to figure out how we listened to 72 Seasons on Friday night. And we didn't. We listened to 72 Seasons on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I was thinking about how we're going to listen to the new Olivia.
Oh, sure. Well, we could just listen to it the next day.
We don't have to listen to it at
we could just do it on Friday. Morning.
This is the earliest, I think, that we've ever recorded.
It definitely is.
And I probably sound a lot more intelligent than normal.
Well, generally with Metallica videos, it takes 3.5 hours, and this one is going to be under 2. So, but what I mean though is like when I say intimate approach to the recording and the quietness of the room, like you can't record a piano the way that they were recording the piano unless you have a very quiet room. Right? Because if it was loud and you noise filtered all that stuff out, you would lose all the definition.
Literally why we have recording studios.
I know, I understand that. That's what I'm saying. So good on them. This wasn't made in someone's back.
And how cool, and maybe because like I think that she's been kind of trying to play up the rock band thing a little bit, that like you know, like this isn't a rock band record.
Not at
I
all.
don't think it's really trying to pretend to be, but like it's like, oh look, rock bands are a thing. That
But,
maybe some kids will do it.
The thing is, she has, this is 34 minutes of music. When she plays a show, she probably plays for an hour, right? So she probably has a band on stage and they play 5 minutes of covers.
Oh, they have to.
You know what I mean?
There's probably,
I'm sure she has other songs. She can do songs from High School Musical. She can do songs from whatever. But like, you know,
she's got to play for 90 minutes.
you think?
She's a headliner. She's got, I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to know any of that. I don't want to know anything. I'm not going to look up any live pictures. I don't want to know anything. So when I buy my tickets to the Guts tour, it's like all new and crazy to me.
But so she has to fill the time that she's up there with something, and she can't play this album twice. I'm sure they probably had 20 other songs to go.
I'd be into it.
I think it's great. I don't think that the album didn't blow me away in what it was. It blew me away that was a bad way to say
what
it.
it wasn't.
It blew me away in what it wasn't. Yes. Yes, exactly. I should have finished that statement.
You should have. It was a good
Because what it was very impressive, but that is not the kind of thing that I would really put on to listen to very much. And if I tried to listen to that in the car, I wouldn't hear any of it because I don't have any vehicle with a nice stereo. Like, and every vehicle I have is like an old vehicle that's really noisy. So you wouldn't even be able to hear half of that album, which is fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I've listened to it in the car a lot.
Right.
And like, whatever. I really like it.
So I'm just saying, like, that is a quiet album to listen to with headphones in a quiet space.
It's so much better with headphones.
I'll bet it is. But yeah, I like the way it was sounded. I love the vocal melodies. I thought were great. The choruses were really catchy in every song, which is what you want in pop music like this. Yeah. It was just such a different. It was so different from what I thought it was going to be, which is just so crazy. Like, it's really the ballads that not threw me off, but like the thing that's most shocking to me is that this wasn't this like rockin', dancey album at all. It's the exact opposite of that. It's a thoughtful, contemplative album.
Yeah.
And that's so different and so cool. And I'm glad that this is as popular as it is because it makes me think like, okay, like I already said, like it kind of restores my faith in humanity a little bit.
Well, and it is so much about her. Like so many of the times,
true.
like pop stars, like, oh, this is an artist, and like, you know, whatever, they or their team has a vision and blah 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 blah. But then like you can actually hear it in the music. Like you can like that.
Yeah.
And
she could do a whole acoustic show, I'm sure, just with her and a guitar.
Yeah.
Or a piano.
And
obviously.
the little things in her voice, and that it's like, I mean, I know that there's like examples of that. Like that's my favorite line of that WAP song is when Cardi B sings Between Her Teeth, and Olivia does that several times. Not to as an extreme of a degree, but she does it. Anyway, I'm super excited. I heard
Pretty sure it's pronounced WAP, by the way.
Pretty sure it's pronounced
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is great. I would be really, really curious to hear her new album. So we'll have to do that too. Because there's no way we'll get 1,000 views on this video, but who knows? Who knows?
Prove them wrong.
Yeah. Please come prove me wrong. I don't know. I don't have too much else to say, right? I feel like we did good talking between the songs a little bit there, and I like the album, but we talked about all the production stuff that was interesting kind of during the song. So I feel like we covered that, and just my overall thought is that the album was good. I don't think that it was necessarily, and I even think that it was great in some ways, production-wise. You know, there's a lot of low-pass stuff. Like, the whole album does feel very, like, everything is pretty much background except for her voice, and that's okay. That's how most pop albums are. But most pop albums are, you also get kick and snare and bass along with the vocals as, like, the primary, like, danciness.
Yeah, and wubbity-wub.
Yeah.
Synthesizers and guest vocals, and like, right, there's no guest vocals on this.
Yeah.
Like half of the Billboard 100 I was looking at the other day, it's blah 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 featuring blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, that's only smart marketing, but like, Olivia didn't have to do it.
No, that's true, and I think she did all the background vocals we heard too.
Yeah, I think
like there was no one else doing the background vocals, which is really interesting too when you think about that. That's cool.
Or maybe she had a vocal double.
I don't know,
but whatever.
really nice.
Sounds
whatever.
like her.
Yeah, it sounded really good.
God, there was something I was going to tell the commenters to do. If it's your first time here, this is what I was going to say. if you're a young lady or young man that thought that maybe they should start a rock band because they listened to this Olivia Rodrigo record, please do it. Go record it on your cell phone, upload it, and put it in the comments. I'll listen to it. I'll write you an email.
We don't want to do too many promises, because I'll
do it for the first person that does it. I'll write you an email. If
no
you
one's
start
going to
a
do
band.
that. No one. You can't post links or anything in the comments of YouTube videos.
I don't even know how YouTube works.
You can't post a link, and you can't post a file or a picture or anything like that.
I've got like a flip phone and like everything else. Like I don't even know.
Well, you can't do it on a flip phone either.
But you can't.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think we can leave the video here, right? Do you have any other thoughts? I mean, hearing this for the however many 100th time you've listened to this now, you still like it as much as you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, even better probably on the headphones.
I don't. Why? I mean, pop music is junk food. I know.
But this wasn't that, though. This is different. It is in the length of the songs, but other than the length of the songs, this is just a ballad. It's ballads.
Yeah, there's no like, and right, I guess it's kind of weird for me that there's not like instruments that, I mean, there's cool instrumental stuff over the whole thing,
but, I mean,
like.
And also, if you think about it, though, think about like Lord, right? What her songs are. They're essentially this, except there's a drum beat over everything the whole time.
Yeah.
Like everything else that's happening is really minimalistic, and it's what I always talk about, that mid-range soup, right?
Yeah.
This album is that exact thing. Like her vocal rhythms could fit very well with like a drum beat over it always. So this is the exact same
Lord
thing as
the Queen Bee song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but also like Halsey would be the same thing. Like there's lots of artists that do that kind of thing, where the songs are basically just a girl singing and then a drum beat over a drum beat, a fat drum beat, right? This is essentially that without the fat drum beat. It's just the mid-rangey soups thing, but also it's beyond that because it's like really, really like tender piano playing, which is really nice and very well done and recorded well. The acoustic guitars.
It's recorded in a way.
Well, right. I mean, it's not high fidelity.
If somebody was just going to tell me, it'd be like, what is a good recorded piano? Imagine what a good recorded piano sounds like. I would not imagine that. But
because all the high frequencies are taken out of it. But yes. Yeah. The mix is a good mix. I guess I should say.
And it should be.
The mix is really good across the board. Everything is there to accentuate her voice, which is clearly the focal point of the entire album. And I think they did a really good job. I'm just shocked that it was all these ballads. And that Driver's License is such a huge song, and it's just a slow song.
Yeah.
And I'm also, honestly, the restraint to not use all these like 80s synths and things, which is on every pop record nowadays, like the throwback 80s sounding synths, which even into 2021, it would have been stuff like that. So like even the restraint for them to not necessarily have drums and stuff, but to also do away with, like there was no need to have real bass played on this album at all. But a majority of the bass you heard, if not all of it, was done by a bass guitar.
Yeah.
And that was not necessary. They could have made this exact same album with synth bass.
But it wouldn't have been as cool.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. They made that decision intentionally, and I think it's really awesome that they did. And I think that shows you, that is like a good indicator of what this album is. There's a dude played bass on this.
Yeah.
And that's just not, I don't know if you've ever I don't know if there's a single real bass guitar on any Britney Spears song. You know what I mean? Or any Ariana Grande song. Maybe Ariana Grande does stuff that's like more band sounding. But like, most pop music is synthetic. And I have no problem with that. But then when you have those moments, those things that humanize it, the mix or the song or whatever, that's usually what stands out. But everything was so humanized.
That's why it's so good.
Yes, I agree. Yes, that's
so weird for us to talk about music like that, like just on the podcast, but like also like in real life, like we never. But like that's what makes it so good is that like it's accessible and it feels real.
Yeah, very much so.
To this last week, I wondered if tech death could possibly be real. When I went to that Psychroptic show,
I'm sure because you could just program all that stuff into anything, and
I thought that you might have to. And when I saw Decrepit Birth, sorry guys, but like I'm like I actually died a little inside because I'm like tech death can't be real. And then Psychroptic played, and you
saw it, and
then I'm like, oh, tech death can't be real. So anyway, if you like Olivia Rodrigo, you'll probably love Psychroptic. So you should go listen.
And what was that other band?
Decrepit Birth.
Decrepit Birth.
You'd probably love that too.
I just think that's a great band name. Decrepit Birth.
It is. It's weird. That was a weird band. Anyway, this has been fun.
Thank you very much for watching. Check out other stuff here on my channel. I do have lots of other pop reactions here on my channel. You might have to go back quite a ways. But I've got all sorts of interesting things like this, including all sorts of Lights reactions. If you're familiar with Olivia Rodrigo and you want to listen to actually a great pop artist, you can go listen to Lights.
We'll see you in September.
Yep. If we get 1,000 views on this video, which honestly, should we make it 500? We'll probably record it regardless, but hey, I'm just excited someone else is happy to record something for once, and I don't have to drag anybody here by their toenails and be like, listen to 3.5 hours of Metallica with me. Not that anyone fights me for that.
It's the album's 75 minutes long. We just have to talk about it for 3 hours.
That's true, and we don't need to talk about this any longer because we've done it enough. Thank you very much, and we will see you here next time.